If you're one of the many seniors who suffers with sciatica, then this video is for you. Today, I'm doing a deep dive into the causes of sciatica and then giving you my best advice and best exercises so you can finally find relief. My name is Harlow and I specialize in helping people over the age of 50 to overcome painful problems. And I've helped thousands of people over 50 with sciatica to find relief. And today I'm going to show you how to do just that. Now, sciatica is usually caused by something pressing on or irritating a nerve, and it usually stems from a problem in the lower back, although it can start in the hip as well. There are three major causes of sciatica in seniors. The first one is a problem with the discs, and the discs are these things that sit in between the vertebral bones in the spine. They're made up of tough bands of collagen with a fluid center, and they can develop bulges or herniations, and they can also become dehydrated and flatten over time. The second thing that can cause sciatica in seniors is arthritis or spinal stenosis, which is essentially arthritis to the facet joints in the base of the spine. That leads to these spaces where the nerves exit the spine from becoming narrowed and pinched on the way out. And then the third cause is an issue down in the hip. Piriformis syndrome or irritation to the sciatic nerve in this region can be just as likely to cause these problems. So how can you tell which one of these issues is your cause? There are a couple of clues I look for when trying to diagnose sciatica in seniors. The first is if general movement feels good, but bending forward and twisting makes it worse. It could be a disc problem. And that hurts because as you bend and twist, this can happen with a disc, and that bulge or herniation can touch the nerve and irritate it. If, on the other hand, you find that sitting down and bending forward relieves your symptoms, but walking and standing up makes it worse, and you really struggle to lean back, that can point to it either being spinal stenosis or arthritic changes in the spine. And if none of the movements of your spine make it worse or better, it just stays the same, that could point to it being a problem with your hip. None of those signs are foolproof when it comes to diagnosing the cause, but they do help to give you clues. Now, I'm going to suggest my best advice now for people with sciatica, but I need to make you aware that not all of this advice is suitable for every person, including the exercises, so please get checked out before you give it a try. The first piece of advice I give to any senior with sciatica is to avoid any movements or exercises that make the pain worse. Now, when you make the pain worse with an exercise, what you're just doing is irritating the nerve. That often triggers inflammation in the area, and it can be ages before it calms down. Now, movement is generally safe and effective, but if you're doing the wrong movements, you're going to delay your recovery and make the problem worse. So find exercises and movements that are pain-free if you want to get better. And this is a concept I talk about in my book, Thriving Beyond 50, that has helped thousands of people over 50 to improve the symptoms of back pain and sciatica. You can find details of it in the description box below. The second tip I've got for you is that movement really is medicine when it comes to sciatica. Look, I know it can hurt when you move when you've got sciatica, but movement is the magic sauce that helps things to start healing. If you don't move, you become stiff, you become weak, you become tight, and the pain gets worse. And what we really want here is non-painful movement. So any movement of the affected area that doesn't make the pain worse is usually a good thing. If you move and it triggers the pain, avoid that movement. Try and pick something else. Sometimes I have my patients just do tiny little rotations like this while sitting. Something is better than nothing. And movement over time, when done consistently, can lead to significant relief. The third piece of advice I give seniors with sciatica is that walking will help you get better. There's really strong evidence that going for short, frequent walks, if you've got a back or a hip problem, can help the problem get better, almost as fast as any of the specific exercises that people like me give out. So walking is one of our key tools in the battle against sciatica. Now, if walking makes your pain worse, the key here is not to stop walking, but to just do very short chunks. So if you're going to do a 30-minute walk, Instead of going out once for 30 minutes, take 3 10-minute walks each day, because those 10-minute walks are less likely to trigger the pain, but you'll still get the same benefit. For seniors with sciatica, the fourth tip is to allow yourself to lean forward if that relieves the symptoms. Now that might sound like weird advice because we're always told stand up straight, that should be better for you. But if you've got spinal stenosis or arthritis of the spine, standing up straight might actually be making the problem worse. And if you force yourself to stand up straight, you're forcing the facet joints together, like you can see on your screen now, and that can impinge the nerve. Contrast that with slightly leaning forward, that opens up the facet joints, just like you can see on the screen now as well, and that can relieve it. This is why if you find leaning on a shopping trolley or pushing a walker improves your symptoms, that's absolutely okay to do. And I had a recent story with a patient who came in with his wife, and he was slumped forward like this, and every time he slumped forward, his wife said, stand up straight, you're making it worse. So he was forcing himself upright, and he was making the problem worse by continuing to force it. It wasn't until I said to him, actually it's okay to lean forward to relieve that pain every once in a while, he suddenly relaxed, and as he leant forward, the pain got better. So as he kept doing that, he was able to find relief throughout the day without forcing himself into an unnatural position. The fifth tip is to use ice and heat. Now, what I recommend to my seniors with sciatica is to put heat on the lower back, if that's where the problem is, because that loosens up tight muscles and helps that nerve to flow a bit more freely in the area, and then put ice on the area of pain in your leg. Now, the funny thing about sciatica is even though you feel the pain in your leg, there's actually nothing wrong with your leg. The problem's higher up. That pain is referred. But if you put ice on the painful area of your leg, it almost dulls down those nerve signals and the pain reduces. So heat for the stiffness in your back and ice on the painful part of your leg, 15 minutes at a time in each location, and that will go a long way to reducing pain. The sixth tip I've got for you is to sleep with a pillow between your knees. Now this does a couple of things. First of all, it stops the knee from rolling over like this, which can put stress on the nerve. But the other thing it does is when you've got a pillow between your knees like this, it shifts your pelvis back to a neutral position. And there's nothing wrong with your pelvis being slightly out of position, but if you're in that position for 8 hours, then having it in neutral is undoubtedly the best way to avoid aggravating the problem. This works with both back problems and hip problems, so if you're not sleeping like this, do give it a try tonight. So now I'm going to show you some of the best exercises for seniors with sciatica for all of these different conditions. Now, before I do, I just need to make you aware, not all of these exercises are going to be suitable for everyone watching. Do get checked out before you try them, and if they cause you any pain, just avoid them. The first exercise works for all of the conditions we spoke about today really well. It's called knee rolls, and it's such a nice way of improving the mobility of your spine and getting those nerves healthy again. You just need your bed for this. You're going to lie down in bed with your head rested on the pillow, and you want your knees about halfway bent up like this. Put your hands down by your sides, and all we're going to do is allow both of your legs to drop over to one side. Now, if I was just getting started with this, I usually have a patient just going about halfway forward and back like this. So they're just going to alternate from left and right, just dropping those knees halfway, allowing the buttock to lift up off the bed on this side. And when you go this way, you allow the buttock to lift off the bed this side, but never allow the shoulders to lift. So we've got a bit of rotation here at the spine. It's a very gentle movement. You might get some clicks and pops, but that's normal. And as you get better at this, or you find that it doesn't give you any pain, you can drop further. So you can go all the way over to one side, letting both knees drop down, and then go all the way over the other side. And what I say to people with sciatica normally is try doing this exercise every morning and every evening, and spend about 2 or 3 minutes doing it each time. It can really loosen the spine in the mornings and get you moving quicker, and it can avoid any aggravation at night for some people. Of course, if this exercise makes it worse, just avoid it, but for most people, this will make it better. So once you've done that, you can move on to the next exercise. But before I show you it, if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It's totally free, but it just means that you'll be the first to hear about our new videos when they come out. There's a button to do that just below the video. The next exercise I'm going to show you to relieve sciatica is knee hugs. So we're going to stay in exactly the same position, and you can do this exercise pretty much for any of the conditions we've spoken about. It should help. I'm going to show you two variations. The first is a single leg knee hug. So bring one of your knees up, hold either in front of the knee or behind the thigh, and just hug that knee up to your chest, just allowing that part of your hip to roll under you. So you're going to hug up and relax, and hug up and relax. And if you're going to do one leg at a time, do 10 on one side, then swap over and do 10 on the other side like this, and it should help to just relieve some of the tension in your back and hips. Now, if that's very easy for you, if you don't feel anything happening, try 2 at the same time. So bring one of your legs up, hold it, then bring the other one up as well. I like to grasp it in front of the leg and just pull and relax. It's a very small movement, and I like to do it like a mobilization. So we go in and out of stiffness. And if you're watching my lower spine carefully, you can see it just tucks underneath me when we get to there, which can help to open up those facet joints and relieve some of the stiffness. Again, this isn't going to cure the problem, but it can certainly help with stiffness and pain, and it can help you get quicker over the long run. So spend about 1 to 2 minutes doing that. Do it maybe twice a day, then we can move on to the next movement. This next exercise is wonderful for people who've got stenosis or arthritis of the spine. And it does a couple of things. The first is it opens up those facet joints and relieves the pressure on the nerve. And the second thing it does is loosens up tight muscles in the spine, which can make the problem worse. So here's how it looks. You're going to sit on a dining room chair, shuffle right to the edge of the seat, so you're just perched on the edge. You want to sit up nice and tall with your hands resting on your knees. We're going to start right from the top and bend our way forwards right to the floor. Here's how it looks. It's a super gentle movement. Don't go into pain, just stop at the edge of stiffness. So we're going to start at the neck, so drop your chin to your chest, then round your shoulders, and then run your hands down the insides of your legs as far as you can go. When you get to the bottom, take a nice deep breath, and as you breathe out, get another inch towards the floor. Hold for 2 or 3 seconds and then put the movement into reverse. Bring your hands back up your legs, right up to the top, and then straighten your shoulders and your neck. Simple as that. You're going to do 5 of those in a row, a few times per day. Now, if this is painful for you, try just going half of the way down. So let's say it was painful for me when I got my chest towards my knee. This is what I would do instead. I'd drop my chin to my chest, round my shoulders, go down like this, use my hands as brakes, stop about here, which is the edge of stiffness, and then bring the movement back up. That's totally okay to do. You don't have to do the full movements when I show you them. Just doing little bits is much better than doing nothing, and you can build up as the pain starts to reduce. So again, 5 of those in a row, several times a day. If you find it gives you relief, you can come back to this as many times as you like. Let's move on to the next exercise. This next exercise can work incredibly well for seniors with a disc problem causing their sciatica. It's called a wall glide, and it looks something like this. Now, this exercise works especially well if you've only got the sciatica in one leg. And I'm going to pretend for this video, I've got sciatica in my left side, okay? So if I've got left-sided sciatica, I want to stand next to a wall with my right side next to the wall like this, and probably want to be about 18 inches, maybe a little bit more, maybe 2 feet away from the wall there, and just put your elbow up on the wall like this. You've got your forearm resting and your elbow on. Put this hand on your side like this, and all we're going to do, keeping a nice upright spine, is glide your hip in towards the wall like this until you reach your natural maximum, and then come back to normal. Tiny little movement, but what we're doing here is side bending the spine, and that can help to bring healthy blood flow to the disc and improve the symptoms of sciatica. Now, many people, if this works for you, many people notice that the first thing that happens is their pain starts to reduce when they do this. If this is making your pain worse, it's probably not the exercise for you. But if it feels the same or slightly better as you do this, this is a brilliant one to try. And what I recommend doing is only do the side bends in this direction, so bad side out, do 10 in a row, and come back to it 3 times a day. It will literally take you 30 seconds, but it can make the whole world of difference. Now, we used to believe a while ago that doing that kind of movement can help the disc to go back into its right position. I don't think that's the case anymore, but it certainly improves blood flow to that area. So check it out if you haven't already. The next exercise I've got for you is the clam. And this is a brilliant exercise for strengthening the hip muscles, which can actually help with any of the conditions. It can certainly help to fix the hip problems, but it can also help to support your spine if you've got stenosis or a disc problem, because your glutes will be stronger. So here is how the exercise looks. You're going to lie on your side with the side to be worked at the top like this. And what I want you to do for this variation is you're actually going to let your legs drop away from you like this. So we've got a nice straight body, but with a bent knee at the end. So we're about 90 degrees bent at the bottom there in the knee. Take your top hand and put it on the bed like this and just roll gently forward, a little bit further forward than feels natural. And all we're going to do here, keeping your body and leg in a straight line, is lift that leg up as if you're opening a door, and then let it come back down like that. Now, it's really important we keep that knee bent because that takes the pressure off the sciatic nerve, and we're only lifting it to the point where we start to feel that glute muscle there kick in, and then putting it straight back down. Now, this is such a nice way of gently strengthening the hip muscles without aggravating your sciatic nerve. So you're going to keep doing it until we start to get a working ache in the buttock. And as a side note, this is great for piriformis problems because now we're working all the muscles in the hip except for the piriformis. So we're strengthening around it, which means that piriformis can relax and the glute muscles can take over. And for many people, that can fix the problem. So you're going to keep going until you start to get a working ache below the belt line here. Then roll over and do the other side. I would aim for somewhere between 10 and 20 repetitions per set. If you can't feel it in the right place, you're probably not in the right place. You're probably either too far back, or your leg's drifted too far forward, or your leg is drifting forward as you lift it. Any of those problems will stop it from working, but if you fix it, if you keep a nice, stable form, you will start to feel it right here in the right place. Once you've done a couple of sets of that, let's move on to the final exercise. The final exercise we're going to do is a great one for relieving pain and tension around the buttock and in the sciatic nerve. So again, this one can be used for any of those conditions. It's really easy to do. You just need your bed. Let me show you it now. So you're going to lie on your back for this exercise with your head rested on the pillow and both knees bent up like this. And we're going to stretch one leg at a time. Feel free to do both. You're going to bring this one up like this and just park your shin on your opposite knee like that. It should be nice and gentle, this position. It shouldn't cause you any pain. If it does, just do the other side, not this one. Now, what we're going to do here is take your hands, reach over like this onto your knee, and then we're going to pull your knee across your body as if you're trying to make your knee touch your opposite shoulder. Of course, it's not going to get anywhere near there, but that is the direction of movement. And when I get to here, I can feel a lovely stretch in my buttock around the back there. You're just going to hold that stretch for 30 seconds. It should be a 3 or 4 out of 10, certainly not a 10 out of 10. And then you can relax. I'm going to show you the other side. So for this one, you would bring that up like that. Shin goes onto knee, take the hands around, pull that knee towards the opposite shoulder. This one's tighter on me for some reason there, but I can really feel it in the glute. You're going to hold it there for 30 seconds and relax. As a side note, a really nice program for sciatica, and this is a strange thing that I've just found works really well, is if you've got a lot of pain, let's say you've got loads of pain on your right, just do that exercise on the left and do it maybe 5 times a day, but only doing the left side, and just see what happens to your pain on the right side. I've met many people where this can really help with the pain on this side. Don't ask me why it works. I'm not 100% sure. It just does. But if you find that both sides are okay to stretch, of course, do both. It would be really useful to do that if you've got stenosis, and you can do that one every single day. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope you found that useful. If you have, please do drop a comment below and we can make more deep dive videos like this. I've got another video on the screen right now which gives you a great little tip to relieve sciatica calf pain if that's what you're suffering with. So click on that if you are, and I'll see you again on the next video.